Hey guys, let us continue with the previous session. So now let us discuss about the application programming interfaces. Okay, so in the previous topic we have discussed about XML, then we have discussed about the JSON, that is JavaScript object notation, and now using application programming interfaces how we can extract the data. Okay, so now we have the ability to exchange the data between the applications using HTTP. And a similar way to represent the complex data, we are sending back and then forth sending back and then receiving back between these application using extensible markup language and JSON, that is JavaScript object notation. So the next step is to begin to define and document contracts between applications using this technique. Whenever you want to specify or define the contracts between this application specification, so we have to define them. How we can do? So the general name for this application to application contract is called as application programming interfaces. Okay. So when we use an API, generally one program makes a set of the services available for use by the other application. So in general, we'll be having an application which is already designed, and that particular set of the services should be made by the available to the other users. And we have to publish that particular APIs. Okay, that means we have some set of the rules that must be published and that must be followed to access the services provided by the program. So that is the way to access those particular services. You should have a API key. Okay, so when we begin to build these programs where the functionality of the program includes access the services provided by the other programs, so this can be called as, or this kind of approach can be called as service oriented approach. Okay, so this service oriented approach is one where our overall application makes use of the services of other application. When you want to make use of the other applications or the services, this can be called as the SOA. Okay, so this a non-SOA approach, that means non-service oriented approach, is where the application is single standalone application which contains all of the code necessary to implement the applications. Okay, that cannot be made use by the other services. Okay, so we can see many examples of SOA when we use the web. We can go to a single website, for example, say air travel or booking the air travel, hotels, automobiles, or anything like booking hotel rooms, then booking the furnitures or booking the groceries. Okay, from a single site. Okay, so the data for the hotels is not stored on the airline computers, obviously, correct? So earlier computers will be having a different set of the data, hotels will be having the different set of the data. Instead, what it will do, airline computers contact the services on the hotel computers and then retrieve the hotel data and present it to the user. That means airline computers, whatever the data is there, that services can be provided to the hotel computers, or the hotel computers data will be provided to airline computers and retrieve that hotel data and present it to the user. Okay, so when the user agrees to make a hotel reservation, for example, say user want to make a hotel reservation using the airline site, so in that particular airline site they will be having a link with the hotel services. So this airline site uses another web service on the hotel system to actually make the particular reservation. Okay, and when it comes to the charge your credit card for the old transactions, still the computers become involved in the process. Okay, now you are paying for the airlines, but that should be shared between the hotel and the airlines. Okay, so that is one problem arises here. When it comes to the charge your credit card for your old transactions, still other computers become involved in the process. Okay, so this is service oriented architecture, how it can be represented. One the main thing is a travel application. Okay, you will be having API keys for all these hotel reservation service, airline reservation service, and auto rental service. So everything will be related to this travel application. Okay, so now when you consider this application programming, what can be the advantages of this service oriented architecture? So here we always maintain one copy of the data. That is particularly important for things like hotel reservation, where we do not want to commit. Okay, So that is, will maintain only one copy of the data for any service. So owners of the data can set the rules about the users of the data. That means they can set their own rules, what kind of data can be shared with the other services owners. Okay, with these advantages, an SOA system must be carefully designed to have a good performance and meet the user needs. Okay, so when this application makes a set of the services in its API available over the web, we call this as web services. Okay, so that is how the service oriented architecture works, and then how this could be the applications. Okay, so now when it comes to security and the API usage, how we can provide the security and how the API usage can be done. So it is very quite common that you need an API key to make a use of the vendor's API. If we have two vendors and they want to exchange the services, and obviously we should need an API key that must be shared between them. So in general, the idea is that they want to know who is using their services and how much each user is using. So perhaps when they have a free and they pay tiers of their services and have policy limits that the number of requests a single individual can make during a particular period of the time. So there are sometimes when you get API key, you simply include the key as a part of the post data, okay, or perhaps as a parameter on the URL when calling the application programming interface. So we have the other times, or if you consider the other situation where the vendor wants increased assurance of the source of the request, so they expect you to send cryptographically signed messages using shared keys and secrets. A very common technology that is used to sign requests over the internet is called auth. Okay, so using the internet, we have a common technology that is used to sign requests that can be called as auth. Okay, you can read more about auth in this following website. Okay, there are number of the convenient and the free auth libraries, so you can avoid writing and then the auth implementation from the scratch by reading the specification. Okay, so this is about the security and the API usage. Now when it comes to the applications, we have the two important applications of this one, that is Google geocoding web service and then Twitter. Okay, so we have considered two important applications, how we can access the data using for these public applications. Let us see one example. So Google geocoding web service. So we know that Google has a very excellent web service that allows us to make the use of their large database of the geographic information. How this can be done, how API keys can be shared with the other vendors, how it can be made. Okay, so we have a simple application prompt user for searching the string, call the Google geocoding API and extract the information from the return JSON. So this is the procedure what you have to pay. You have to, if you have a Google Places API key, enter it here. If you don't have, then do not enter. Okay, so this is a procedure where you have to write the code and then load the information related to Google geocoding. Okay, and in the similar way we have another application, that is Twitter. Twitter API becomes increasingly valuable, where Twitter went from an open and public API to an API that required the users of auth signatures. Make sure the user should be having a specific or secured API, and then you should be logged into that particular information, then only you can access that particular Twitter account. So that's why they say we have to have an account with the Twitter token, secret key, then consumer secret key, everything should be defined. Okay, so this is where you can refer the program for this Twitter to access the information and how the APIs can be exchanged between the user and the Twitter account providers. Okay, if your Twitter account user is not having a Twitter account, then you cannot log into that particular Twitter account. Okay, so this is about the how we can use the web services over the Python programming language. Thank you.